News Talk 760 WJR.
Good Thursday morning to you. It is the 4th of June, the 156th day of 2020. There are 210 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. We've got the team. Of course, Dick Hafner, our WJR news director, who has just presented the news the good old-fashioned way, the way the news was meant to be presented, without any kind of his own feelings mixed in. He's presenting the news here. Now, when we're just shooting the breeze, we will get his opinion on some things, although sometimes it's like pulling teeth to get his opinion, but we're going to try. We're going to try because this is the non-news segment of the program. You can hear, and for those of you on social media can now see, Dayna Clark, traffic, weather, restaurants, we are open, the passing scene, all that sort of stuff.
Happy Friday Eve.
Friday Eve, indeed.
Friday Eve.
It's been a long week. It seems to be like a long week for whatever reason. Nothing should change, but this one has changed. It's been a long week. It's been a tough year. I mean, let's face it. But anyway, we, of course, have old what's-his-name sitting in the studio. Brian Morton. Nothing's changed for Brian. He is, although I didn't see a walk from Brian on the
I did.
Instagram. Did he go? Because
Yes.
I didn't.
You don't check every day, Paul W. That must be the issue here.
I thought I checked every day, but anyway, I don't know. So Brian is sitting there, and he is getting smaller and smaller as we sit there. And Kim is up, and she has new equipment today. Ray was out helping us with a few things. I have a new little speaker.
Oh, nice.
Not have to have the headphones on all the time and hear the radio station and all of that. And she's got some new headphones. And of course, Ann Thomas on vacation or off this week, and Dave Kingpin Rieger, which led when I said I never knew that was his nickname, and that led Ray Templin to say, "You've never seen him bowl?"
Oh.
I'm going to say most of us, unless we're on a bowling team with someone, we rarely see our friends and colleagues bowl.
True.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah, probably true.
Like I said, we used to have a WJR bowling team, but that was a long time ago. But no, and you said when I asked you about this, Dave Kingpin, that I said, "Were you a good bowler?" And you said, "Well, I was." Well, he says you're still a good bowler, so you don't have to sandbag with us. I'm never going to bet you.
No, you probably do not want to bet me bowling. Yes, I would never bet you at bowling and take your money. No.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't do that to you.
He's not a hustler.
You're not a golfer either, because golfers have no problem taking my money. In fact, I hand it to them before we get out on the course. So thank you. What I don't know what questions to ask anymore. I haven't interviewed a bowler since. Oh my God, the name just came to me. Dick Weber. Is that a big name?
He was great, back in the day. I am a big fan of his son, Pete Weber.
Oh my goodness!
I've met him a couple times in Vegas. Great guy.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Senior was
the biggest name in bowling now is Jason Belmonte.
Yes, the two-handed sensation from Australia. Yes.
No, wait a minute, Dick. Are you an active bowler now?
I dabbled in bowling ever since I was 11 when I worked at a bowling alley. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! These are things.
Oh God! See, we don't know these things. He doesn't tell us.
This is a good COVID virus because without that, we wouldn't have a chance to talk about all these things with our friends. I mean, seriously though, on those little Zoom cocktail parties or gatherings of friends that you never used to see very much anyway, and now you see once a week, whatever you've got going, and you talk about things that you've never talked about, even sometimes with friends you've had since you were kids.
I'm very proud of Ray that he talked up my bowling game to you last night. That was very
Wow.
nice. of
Oh
him.
yeah, it was quite a bit of the conversation that we had here. Yeah, absolutely. All right, it is 5:43 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty around the world, things are becoming desperate. Join Compassion International and provide for a family in poverty. Make your one-time $40 gift. Text HOPE to 83393.
We've got it. Our WJR traffic and weather first, and Dayna Clark.
And we are starting off with an accident along M14. Traffic First, also sponsored by Operating Engineers 324. Operating Engineers 324 is accepting applications for its apprenticeship programs June 8th through the 12th. OE 324 operates and maintains a heavy machinery that propels nearly every large-scale project in the state. Visit oe324.org for details or to apply. 2 lanes blocked along M14 westbound at Sheldon Road. Traffic is stopped from 275. You can take Ann Arbor Road or 6 Mile instead. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Oakland University. Prepare yourself to advance with the Oakland University Executive MBA program, now enrolling for the fall semester. Transform your career by taking classes on the weekend. Learn more at OU's virtual info session on June 13th or at oakland.edu/EMBA.
Dry morning and a dry afternoon. Thunderstorms not returning until tomorrow afternoon. Partial clouds with sunshine today, high 86. Tonight, some clouds, 64. Tomorrow afternoon, showers and thunderstorms at a high of 87. For the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik on News Talk 760 WJR.
All right, Ray, thank you very much. 5:40, well, let's call it 5:45, and the guy who informs us and entertains us Monday through Friday from noon till 3 joins us first thing in the morning, just for a little thought here. Of course, I'm talking about Rush Limbaugh.
On Tuesday, longtime Village Voice editor Pete Kotz posted an online piece, Dear America, 5 better places to target the next time.
Could you hand me that while you're up? That Commander-in-Chief shield? Commander-in-Chief shield. I forgot all that stuff was down there. In front of you. You couldn't just walk over and get it. Thank you, baby.
Good morning to our Facebook fans. We have Clay checking in, Trish, Dominic, Julia, Denise Johnson. Yes, Clay, I have no hat on today. I tried to do something.
I meant to bring that up before we even got on. I rarely see all that hair.
Wash and blow today, yesterday. So
it looks good.
Wash and go, no blow.
Is that why? So you just let it?
It's curling.
Naturally.
Yeah, just let it
that's
do
what,
it.
That's what the 3 of us guys do. Yeah.
Let it do its thing.
It's dry before we get out of the bathroom. That's the terrible thing. Not much hair for us.
So more stores are supposed to open today without an appointment. So, stores like probably Kohl's and TJ Maxx, my favorite store, Home Goods. Can't wait to get into there.
That's your favorite?
It is. Yeah. That's where I drop all my coins at home.
So we have Ron Becker, Clay, Jerky, Ann Pisker Albertson, Patrick Mendez, Daryl Wolski, Clay, Denise Johnson, Kathy Knowlton. Clay is talking a lot. How come
Clay is chiming in?
Clay says he's glad no one has seen him bowl. I'm with you, Clay.
He bowled 3 times in 40 years, he said.
Good morning, Tim Spencer. That's good, Patrick. I've heard that. I'm on a drinking team with a bowling problem.
Yeah. That's what I say when I golf.
Trish Beyer, Hartwick, morning. Dominic Sabatini, Dominic. Julia Vigor, Stanton, Steve Regland's back. Good morning, Steve. And Friday's Eve, he likes that. Mm-hmm. Carolyn Pilak, I think. Good morning, Friday Eve. Patrick Mendez. So last night was peaceful a peaceful protest in Lambertville. Today will be 2 peaceful protests in Monroe, I think.
Did you see across the country, like in Paris and New Zealand?
Yeah, but that's not they were like making that like that was the first day. I've seen the protests in other parts of the world. I was sticking out here. I'm sure I've seen it in the news the last few days or last week or something.
Well,
last night on the national news, they acted like it was the first time.
Here's the great news that happened yesterday, in case you missed it. Charges were finally brought down for the 3 other officers. They are aiding and abetting a second-degree murder, and also Mr. Idiot, the first person that got charged, has been moved up to second-degree murder.
He was moved up to second degree.
Yes.
Did they charge the other guys second-degree murder also?
Aiding and abetting second-degree murder. I don't know if there's a difference in that. I'm not a lawyer, but
like we said the day it happened, we said they all were to be charged.
Yes.
They all should have been charged, and I guess they're dotting their I's, crossing their T's.
They're making sure.
Stupid, but it certainly. I don't know that it would have kept us from. We have to realize it's 2 different things. The rioting, which has nothing to do with the good people who are protesting. The good people who are protesting are not smashing windows and shopping and taking things home, supposedly in memory of George. That's just not happening. Oh, are his services today?
Yes, there are services today. So that I'm sure is going to gain a lot of attention. And he also had a son who came out
for the
yesterday.
First time
yes,
came to the spot.
Yes, so he has a son and a 6-year-old daughter. So cute. And so, services are today. I'm sure we'll see lots of coverage on that. So,
yep.
But I'm thankful that they did the right thing, and hopefully this will result in a conviction. But the Michigan Attorney General did ask for our patience. He said because it's going to take. This could take months. So,
the Michigan Attorney General.
Minnesota.
News Talk 760.
Okay. I didn't know
WJR.
involved, and I didn't know.
Yes.
Good Thursday morning to you. It is the 4th of June, the 156th day of 2020. There are 210 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift, and as Dayna has liked to say, this is Friday's Eve.
Yes, it is.
That makes a week a little shorter on what has been, to me at least, kind of a long week.
It's been stressful, emotional, emotional. That can make you tired too. So.
They have now found, as if there's any reason to know any of this now, but that George Floyd, they now say, was found tested positive for COVID-19.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You find a lot of stuff out when you do autopsies and stuff, but he just a horrible set of circumstances for a guy who came into a store, used a $20 bill. I still contend he probably had no idea it was a counterfeit 20, just like any of us might have a 20 in our purse or wallet that somebody gave us in change or whatever, and we wouldn't know. And the reason I say that is I would presume if you just pulled off passing a fake $20 bill that you knew was fake, you wouldn't hang around at the store or in front of the store. You'd get the heck out of Dodge. You came out of the store and you're buying your stuff, you would leave. So I don't think he even knew. And I still am flabbergasted by the fact that 4 police officers would rush to the location because of a counterfeit $20 bill. That's just too much to consider. And you think about how the whole world would be different had they not made that call or showed up at that moment. But then they lost all sense of what their job and their responsibilities were. And instead of one cop stepping up and saying, "Hey, stop," they all drew the wagons around, and while the moron kept pressing his knee, kept grinding his knee into this poor man's neck, and with some sadistic pleasure, it appeared, or at least complete lack of any concern or caring. And one of them said what we've learned is not correct, which is don't worry, if he's talking, he can breathe. No, a lot of us talk without breathing a lot. I talk without breathing a lot on this show. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm whatever. So we were pretty safe in Detroit last night, and the curfew continued. The mayor kind of defended his curfew. He doesn't have to defend any activity to me. He's the mayor, and his job is to preserve our city. And that's what he did with the curfew, and other cities should have done this along the way. But I think the police chief took the stand last night that when the people were there still at 8 o'clock, because they were being very, they were being law-abiding. They were doing what he thinks they should do. He's on their side. We're all on their side. The people who are protesting peacefully, there's nobody that's disagreeing with what they're saying about what happened here. And that bothers me about the institutional media. They say, oh, the president's sending in the army and he's doing this and the tanks. And they showed last night on NBC News the militarization of the police department. We're going through that again, and defund the police. They say that when they show the peace-loving people who are not straying from what they're supposed to be doing in terms of protesting and being angry. They don't show that when people are breaking windows and stealing $2.5 million worth of Rolex watches. That's a great way to pay tribute to George, or coming home with a new television from Target, or any of those things. I do believe the police have got to stop that kind of behavior, and I also think the police should always have whatever equipment they need to protect themselves and to stop that kind of behavior. Does anyone agree or disagree with that?
Yes. Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. Yep.
Okay. So, I mean, we're all kind of on the same page. This is thankfully not one of those moments where we have people saying, well, the police had to do that because they, you never know. And all. I mean, that was one of the worst cases of us seeing somebody break the law and their oath of office without, there's no gray area here. It really is black and white, no pun intended.
You're right. Police are supposed to protect and serve, and that's us, all of us.
All of us.
All of us.
And I still contend that most police, out of the 800,000 of them there are around this great country of ours, are doing that and are trying to do that. And yes, there are absolutely bad apples in 800,000 of anything. 800,000 talk show hosts. Oh, wouldn't that be horrible if there were 800,000 talk show hosts? 800,000 plumbers, 800,000 bankers, 800,000 doctors, 800,000 lawyers. If you have 800,000 of anything, you're going to have some bad apples.
Because people are people. Yes.
Yeah, and all those other bad apples I'm talking about don't carry guns. That's what makes it even worse.
That's the difference.
Isn't the tough part of this the institutional racism charge?
Well, it is because sadly, and you can't really bring this up right now. There's some things you just can't say, but I brought it up because I talk about everything here, and that Wall Street Journal story from Heather McDonald, the myth of systemic police racism. And when you look at the facts on paper, which are a lot different than the emotions we feel when these things happen, but the facts on paper show that it is a myth, systemic police racism. Well, what is it called then when we see it and when we experience it if it's not systemic? I guess
Heather, I disagree. I disagree with Heather. Just put
that means systemic, I guess, means everybody. And I don't think that every police officer, I know every police officer is not a racist. I mean, think about that. 5:57 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty around the world, things are becoming desperate. Join Compassion International and provide for a family in poverty. Make your one-time $40 gift. Text HOPE to 83393.
And we've got it, our WJR traffic and weather first. And we've got Dayna Clark.
And that accident we had along M14 westbound at Sheldon Road, earlier accident there is clear. Traffic is still seeing some slight delays from at least 275. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, expecting some clouds, some sun today in the mid 80s, a high of 86, overnight low tonight, down to 65, just a 10% chance of rain. On into Friday, we see a slight chance of a shower, especially in the afternoon, about 2 to 7 p.m. Otherwise, sunshine, a high of 86 once again, overnight low 64. But here comes the weekend. Lots of sun on Saturday, nice, comfortable 80, and Sunday, partly cloudy and a high of 71. Clear skies, currently 63 degrees. I'm Dayna Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in about 2 minutes.
NBC. Closed captioning on. And I know that every time I look at this story, Dana, I know it's upsetting to you.
Which one?
The one about the myth of systemic
What did
police.
she say exactly? What is she?
Here, I'll read it to you. The first part is George Floyd's death in Minneapolis has revived the Obama-era narrative that law enforcement is endemically racist. Then I skip through a bunch of this and I say, the charge of systemic police bias was wrong during the Obama years and remains so today. However, sickening the video of Floyd's arrest, it isn't representative of the 375 million annual contacts that police officers have with civilians. A solid body of evidence finds no structural bias in the criminal justice system with regard to arrests, prosecution, or sentencing. Crime and suspect behavior, not race, determine most police actions. Crime and suspect behavior, not race, determine most police actions. She goes on to say, in 2019, police officers fatally shot 1,004 people, most of whom were armed or otherwise dangerous. African Americans were about a quarter of those killed by cops last year, 235, a ratio that has remained stable since 2015. That share of black victims is less than what the black crime rate would predict, since police shootings are a function of how often officers encounter armed and violent suspects. In 2018, the latest year for which such data has been published, African Americans made up 53% of known homicide offenders in the U.S. and commit about 60% of robberies, though they are 13% of the population. The police fatally shot 9 unarmed blacks and 19 unarmed whites in 2019, according to a Washington Post database. That's down from 38 whites, or 38 and 32. I don't know why she put the other numbers in. The Post defines unarmed broadly to include such cases as a suspect in Newark, New Jersey, who had a loaded handgun in the car during a police chase. In 2018, there were 7,407 black homicide victims. Assuming a comparable number of victims last year, those 9 unarmed black victims of police shootings represent 0.1% of all African Americans killed in 2019. By contrast, a police officer is 18 and a half times more likely to be killed by a black male than an unarmed black male is to be killed by the police. Those are stunning, say factual statistics. I see you don't buy that.
I know. I mean, I'm sure some things that she says in there are accurate. I'm not saying everything she's saying is not a lie, but this much I know, that more African American people, men and women, are killed for absolutely no reason than Caucasians are. So that's all I know. Blacks are profiled. I mean, look at the lady in Central Park. I'm going to call 911 and tell them an African American man is threatening me.
She was an idiot, not a cop.
But that happens. Yeah, she was not a cop, but I'm sure some of her facts in there are accurate. I'm not going to say everything she's saying is wrong, but there are more blacks killed without a conviction than whites are. I contend that. And
I know you believe that. I understand that.
I mean, I will read it. I tried to actually pull it up the other day. I couldn't
don't know
pull
if
it
you
up.
can. Some of these Wall Street Journal stories, this was sent to me. Some of them you can't pull them up if you don't.
Right. And I was not going to do that
because I did. Subscribe. That's right.
I can't even pull these things up when I do get the paper. So, I mean, that's the story of my life. But, you must be a subscriber. I am a subscriber. Anyway,
I mean, sadly, I'm not trying to start some mess here, but
yes, you are.
You know me. I just want everybody to. I mean, sadly, some people still don't believe that there's white privilege. So if you don't even think that there's that, then we pretty much are not going to.
I don't.
Please don't.
No. Listen, I'm certainly happier to be born white than any number of other ways I could have been born. Mm-hmm. But I can't see why someone would hold it against me because I was born white. I had nothing to do with it.
Exactly. And I agree with that. Nobody should hold anything against anybody because none of us choose our parents. We don't choose our race. We don't choose where we live. We don't, we don't have anything to do with it. So no, I don't think somebody should hold anything against anybody for what color they are. But a lot of people still don't think that there is privilege for being one color over the other. And that if you don't believe that, I mean, if you don't see that, then you're really Ray Charles could see that. Oh, come on, people.
I've watched it all my life. I've told this story off air. I don't think ever on air. I'm still not on air, but I am with our social media folks. That is, I remember walking into like one of these bodegas when I lived in New York City. It was run by a Korean, and it's the whole Korean family worked there. I mean, they worked their behinds off day in and day out, and it was all family members. I think they were Korean. Mm-hmm. And one time I walked in, I was looking for fruit or something, and I was looking at stuff. And, the guy waved to me when I walked in. I wasn't like a regular or anything. There's a bodega on every corner. Mm-hmm. And then a black man walked in, and he literally followed the black man around the store. And I said, wait, the guy left. I said, wait, you don't know me. You waved to me, but when that black man came in to shop, this is 30 years ago. I think 30 years ago. So I said, when the black man walked in, why did you follow him? Because I've been robbed by so many black people. So it was in his mind conditionally done based on his experience. He hadn't been robbed by too many guys that looked like me, but had been robbed by a lot of guys that looked like him. And sadly, that was his universe. That's what he was basing his behavior on.
Yes, I get it. And I'm not mad at
the Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR.
That's the way it is. Just like some people are rich.
Good Thursday morning to you. You just heard Dayna on the radio say, well, some people are rich.
Some people are not. I mean, don't hate.
That to be for all of us.
Right. It's like, what can you do?
Thursday morning, June 4th, some call it, as Dayna does, Friday's Eve. The 156th day of 2020. There are 210 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. And I'm not discounting that each day is a gift, but somehow I think that New Year's Eve celebration, as we pass through 2020 into 2021, we are going to feel an incredible sense of relief and say, glad that year is over. At least I pray that's how we feel by the end of the year, that we aren't having a continuation of the problems and the issues that are literally plaguing us for what seems like forever for this year, 2020. Anyway, the team is together. Nice to have you listening in on News Talk 760 WJR. We'll be here till 9 o'clock. We'll be on social media until, for the time being, I guess, 6:15. They're working out a variety of issues, but I have a feeling this is the future of broadcast radio, it's almost like television. Isn't that interesting? Radio was, in fact, discovered and flourished long before there was television. And we appear to be going back to television's beginning. I don't know. Anyway, we're glad we can talk to you and communicate with you any way that we can. And we have the team here, Dick Hafner. The only thing I don't like about this setup in the early morning is I don't get to hear Dick do his newscast, but I'm going to say, because I have listened to him enough, he just presented the news the way it's supposed to be presented without all of the stuff you get when you watch cable news, for example, and lots of other mainstream institutional media. I guess they're all institutional media, cable and regular broadcast. Anyway, Dick's here. Dayna Clark is here. Rabble rouser. She is here.
Troublemaker.
Traffic and weather and a whole bunch of other stuff. We appreciate that. Brian Morton's sitting in the studio. We never see him. Could he be that little box there where it says WJR Control Room?
That's Brian. He looks good.
Why isn't he there? I don't. And by the
Brian
way,
doesn't want to see us every morning.
No, I know that. He's like a cat. He's not like a dog. The dogs are happy to have his home all the time. The cats are saying, isn't it about time for you to go back to work?
Don't you have a job?
I offered
something, and that's Brian's case. Let me ask the boys, who's Sean and Jonah, maybe? Is that who the guys are that now are taking care of this?
Yes.
Because Curtis is off for the week. This little red thing that says live 3116, can you put that in the other? Oh, okay. I was going to say put it in the other corner because Paul W. was covered by that. And I think, well, it's the Paul W. Smith show. It'd be good for that to be seen. But now they've changed it around. They have the WJR Roundtable. So, see, I just have to wonder about these things. Kim is here helping out alongside me. That's a good part of working from home. And, of course, Ann is off this week, and Thomas. So we have Dave Kingpin Rieger. Kingpin.
I offered to bring the laptop into the control room so you guys can see Brian, and he said no.
I'm sure that went over big with Brian. Yeah. I was shocked when he went on Instagram and became a public figure because he usually is. Oh, look, there's a live 3207, 3208. Can that go on the right of the screen, guys? So it doesn't cover up any information. Like now it says Monday, June 4th, but it says day, June 4th. But anyway, I mean, everyone knows it's Monday, but I would think you'd put it up in the part of the screen that's empty there, unless you are afraid to cover up that really beautiful green that we're using in that corner. All right.
See, this is why there are technical directors in TV.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we need them.
No technical director worth their salt would cover up all that stuff, except that's not true because on television now they have their little logo, and no matter what else is happening on the screen, that logo stays fixed there, and that logo covers up a lot of stuff, a lot of the news stuff. Anyway, speaking of news stuff, we better get into some of these thoughts here. Well, this is not one I want to rush into, but I do it every day. So the Michigan coronavirus cases are up to 58,035, and the death toll now of our friends, family, loved ones, colleagues, neighbors, 5,570. And Dick usually has, because they, for whatever reason, this is Channel 4, they don't put the recovery numbers. So the recovery numbers are big, and that's a positive thing that I wish we would have.
They only do it once a week.
Oh, really? Well, that's unfortunate. Let's see. Yeah, this. I haven't read the whole story, but this cop, I even use his name. His name has been on, and they put his name in my column. I didn't put his name in my column, but anyway, the cop that did this started this whole problem, and then the three associates who've now been charged, as they should have been a long time ago, as being held accountable. The Minnesota police officer who used his knee to pin down George Floyd's neck before his death was the most experienced of the four officers involved in the arrest, with a record that included medals. He received medals for bravery. However, he also received 17 complaints against him, including one for pulling a woman out of her car during a speeding stop. So the man has experience as being, at the very least, heavy-handed. And the problem we're finding, and I agree with this when people are saying, we really have to circle back around and look at the training that is or isn't given to police officers. And I think the governor, hasn't the governor spoken out now in one of her 108 various orders? And I think it really is 108 because they're out there now. Okay. And I was going to print them until it said 36 pages. So I didn't. But didn't the governor speak up, Dick, about the police having to follow certain formal training?
Yes, there was an order, basically the governor wanting the state to get involved in some oversight in police departments and encouraging them to put controls in that would eliminate the chance of such a botched up job like we saw in Minneapolis.
So there's no confusion that the other three cops would clearly understand. I think it's already in the books, but clearly understand if they see something going on like that that's clearly wrong and illegal, that they're supposed to step in and stop it. But I think that's already I would think that's already a part of, what they've sworn to. I think.
Maybe not.
Well, they will now. A little late, but they will now. And, we'll see what happens with all of that. I still don't get or accept this idea of defunding police. I don't know. You want the best police you can get. The way to get there is not taking money away from them. It's putting money into them for the best people you can hire and the best training you can give. Defunding.
Willie Burton, one of the Detroit Board of Police Commissioners, wants defunding of the police department, of which he is one of the commissioners.
Well, I don't understand what benefit we get there. Do we really think anarchists and anarchy should rule the day? That's not where I want to live. But again, this one's for you, Dayna. But again, I have white privilege. So maybe that's why I feel that way. I don't know.
Maybe. Thank you for recognizing it, though, because a lot of people won't admit it. So
thank you for not suggesting thank you for not suggesting I should be punished for something I had no control over.
You should not be punished.
6:15 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Discover. We treat you like you'd treat you. Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score, and checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
The limitations apply is going to be the death of me. On my deathbed, I will say at the very end, the last words I'll say would be, limitations apply.
Right.
So anyway, this is where we say goodbye on social media, except that's not true. Our audio will continue to be here, as it always is on social media, and as it always is at 760 on the AM dial. We've got a big and good show today, if I should say so myself. So we're happy that the people get up early just to see if we make it and what we look like at various times in the morning and what we sound like as well. We love this, just as Sean is saying. Sean Hetrick is saying, I love this. Well, we love it too. And it's probably going to happen more often in the days ahead. But meanwhile, this I know for sure. We have our WJR Traffic and Weather First with Dayna Clark.
And Clay, you have the cutest puppy on Facebook. He's so cute. Earlier accident, M14 westbound at Sheldon Road. That collision is clear. Also in Lyon Township, 96 eastbound at